welcome back to
Two Cooks,
One server.
and a teacher.
I'm back. So for our audio listeners right here, we're gonna go down the line, starting with Ace. So
What up, Mace?
I'm Steve,
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
and we are gonna start off the show with some shots, as always. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheer me.
Cheers, me. Get over it.
No.
That was
All
probably
right.
a more pleasant shot.
Wow, that was so much better.
Yeah. Okay. So topics for today, we're gonna be talking about the pros and cons of deep clean, and the Capitol building. Just everything that happened during the Capitol. It was a hell of a time, a very historic time, and we're gonna talk about it. But we're gonna start light and go with deep clean first, because
Yeah.
That's before we go for deep clean in the Capitol, we're going to talk about our restaurants.
exactly. Yep. So it's COVID, a lot of deep cleaning going around.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' favorite part of deep clean besides getting a good
My
excuse
favorite
to
part
go?
is not doing it, but
Yeah.
My favorite part is occasionally you can get a free meal out of it if you have a nice enough manager to feed you. Or the next day going in and knowing your closing duties ain't gonna be shit.
True.
or like the next
100%.
week, you don't have to worry about like doing that much work to clean up and shit.
Yeah, like your
It's
closing
so much
duties are like
easier,
10
yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
instead of 30.
Like,
Yeah.
facts.
So I don't know about y'all, but when I would work in a restaurant, it was always a matter of maybe like doing little bits of cleaning every day.
Mhm.
That kind of make it a lot easier, so a deep clean wouldn't be too harsh of a punishment or a time to even go into.
Yeah, it
So
just
like, I'm a
depends on how your
busybody.
business is.
I'm a busybody, man.
Deep cleans are for because you have shitty people at your job, and they're
Yeah.
people who are never going to actually mop the floors when they're doing their closing or wipe down shelves. So then after your like manager seeing that for 2 or 3 weeks of it just being sticky and gross and whatever, then eventually that fateful Saturday or Thursday or whatever day comes, where you have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning to just clean everything. You pull apart all your shelves, take apart most of the shit in the kitchen or wherever, and you clean everything.
Mhm.
I will say I did
Not
not
just
like.
clean, you scored the fuck.
Yeah,
out of it.
I mean,
Like,
You
like,
clean
the
like you're getting
purpose of a
paid more
deep
than
clean
$2
is
an hour.
mostly-
I will
Yeah.
say
Get
back of the
yourself
house,
that-
y'all definitely had it harder. I would even say
Yeah.
bar and back of house had it the worst, but for front of house it was a lot of like treating the wood and like
Yeah.
deep cleaning the wood, so it wasn't too bad. But you see a lot of nasty
Oh, the
crap that
walls.
customers leave behind,
Oh yeah.
like cleaning out booths.
Yo,
The
I was
most
just gonna
disgusting-
say.
Yeah.
The most
Facts.
disgusting stuff you'll ever see.
used
in
to
your
work
Pull
at
life.
out a booth and find like a dirty diaper and you're like, how did you lose this? How did you not know?
One of the most disgusting stories of a deep clean I did. We went there really early in the morning, and you guys had POSIs, right? The little POSI stations, the computer station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
POS? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we have
POS.
those.
Call them POSIs.
Oh, we got POS there, yeah.
Yeah. So I looked behind one of them one time. Apparently, it had never been cleaned because I found about a stack of yay thick gum stacked to the back of this POSI,
Jesus.
this POS station.
There you go.
And the managers expected us just to scrape it off. I'm like, listen, I love working for y'all. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not doing that. Not for free, and y'all are paying me enough to scrape that off.
Yeah, nasty as fuck.
Some of the nastiest stuff y'all have seen.
It's like our manager's like, yeah, we found like dried throw up over here. Your job to clean it. Be like, no, the hell it is not.
Mm.
It is not my job, sir.
What about you, Ace? Some of the nastiest stuff you've
Alright, so I used to work at this one restaurant. I wouldn't say this part of deep clean. So I worked at 2 different restaurants at this time. One place is like dumb clean, like for the most part, like they do deep cleans once a month. And, like it's scheduled and like so the place isn't that bad.
seen. Is it more of like a chain restaurant?
No, this place is not a chain.
Mhm.
And then I went to the other, or I'm also working at this other restaurant, which also is a privately owned place, but they didn't give a fuck as much about cleaning. So when I first started working there, I was like, I got there and like their grill
Yeah.
was literally pitch black.
Oh.
Like, yeah, pitch black. Like it had some of the worst shit on there. Like I was
You
like,
sound like the broiler grill or the flat top?
I'm talking about the flat top.
That's
yeah,
gross.
yeah, you know what I'm
That's
talking about.
Well, I'll say on the
Yeah.
broiler grill, that's a
That
whole
was
other.
the very
Yeah.
similar place, yeah.
Yeah.
Never
Like,
seen a
there's
grill
this
brick.
flat top, and it was really bad. And one day, like, I'm going to meet people there, and I'm like, why the fuck is this that bad? And like, I was saying like the first 3 days, I got the, like, they literally just gave me the kitchen. It was like, yeah, this is yours. Like, you got it for the day. And I was like, bro, like, so I'm gonna just clean this place
The
up.
worst part is finding the starting point.
Like, yeah,
That's the hard part,
It
yeah.
was really
It's finding the starting point.
And I was like, I'm gonna fucking take this grill and I'm gonna fucking get it metal again.
Yeah.
And like clear the fuck out of it. And like, yeah, it took me weeks to get it to actual stainless steel, but I eventually got that shit.
So I started at working at a diner, and I worked third shift, so the overnight one, because they were 24/7. And I was super bored because you're gonna have like all of 6 customers there.
Yeah.
And this was back when I was cooking, and the coffee pots there, you couldn't see in them at all. They were clear coffee pots, but they were solid brown.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna do somebody a favor. I'm gonna just take my 2 hours on board, and I know nobody's coming in from like 3 to 5 in the morning, and I'm gonna scrub these and get them clean. And I thought, I was being a really nice guy about that. I got cussed out by like 8 different people for doing that. Apparently, the nasty built-up coffee stains are what gives the coffee its taste. I had the morning regulars cussing me out. I had the morning servers cussing me out.
They were so used to this grimy taste.
They were
It's like,
so
ugh.
fucking mad at
when
me
they
for
got
that
clear,
shit.
It's like, what'd you do this
Like,
thing?
what the hell is wrong with your coffee? Like, I cleaned it. Don't you ever do that shit again.
Like
So,
with soap and water? Yeah, don't do that.
So, between all of us, have any of y'all worked at like a restaurant that has like a big military presence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's exactly what happened to me. Like I went to go clean the coffee pot, and the manager stopped me before I could even like run water through it, and was just like, "Don't do that. Our regulars will be so pissy." I was like, "Why? It's disgusting. Look at it. I can scrape my finger through there and it'll come off black."
Yeah.
So it's like, no, it's because that's how they like it.
Coffee
That's
needs
like-
to taste like
Apparently that's
sun.
like a heavy military thing.
Is
I
it?
guess so, yeah.
No. Fuck
Well, because
that
I
shit.
imagine on a ship after a while, all the
Yeah.
coffee tastes just like tar.
Yeah.
Again, just ballparking.
Yeah.
So fucking gross.
And what about you?
Fucking. There's so much. I've always been in the back of the house. I've always
So
seen
what's
like.
your favorite part about the deep clean?
What's
What's your favorite thing you found? Like, might not be the most disgusting.
Well, I
but most
mean,
entertaining.
every now and then we get free pizza. That's pretty good. But no, the grossest.
Yep.
One of the grossest things I've found in the deep clean was at the last place I worked at. So instead of like dumping the contents of a fry basket into a bowl or a plate,
Yeah.
they would just swing it over like the walkway and dump it in a big
Oh, that's disgusting.
tray. So the wooden boards we stepped on, kind of gross. But beneath the table was this little shelf, and they would keep the serving trays down there.
Mhm.
And these huge serving trays had not been used for like a good 2 years.
Yeah, because most people drop stuff when they use them
Exactly.
in front
Yeah.
of house.
So basically, there was like this fat layer of grease that accumulated on top of these things. And instead of just throwing these things out, because they're made of wood and shit,
Yeah.
so they're not plastic, so they're not gonna scrape off. I was like, all right, clean those. I'm like, no.
But it's gonna set into the wood.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's gonna seep.
And even that, we're never
Oh,
gonna
that's
use
gross.
these things. Let's
Yeah.
just throw it away and put some saran wrap or foil on top of the
Yeah.
table, so at least that doesn't get fucked up. I was
Yeah.
like, no, clean that.
I
I
will
took a
say-
scraper just to humor him, and I
Yeah.
scraped this fat roll. You ever roll a
Yeah.
a snowball?
Yeah.
Like a
fruit
snowman
roll-up,
just-
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Exactly.
fruit roll-up.
I will say,
That was
going
pretty
back to
gross.
like the pizza earlier, managers will be so quick to like cover up like employee just like discomfort and
The
like
pizza
the
potty.
pizza slap it on, bro.
Hey, we think this is unfair. This is bullshit. Everyone in front of house is making $2 an hour. We've been here for 3 hours cleaning this. I haven't even made $5 after taxes.
I hear you. Pizza.
Cheesy crust.
Cheesy
Alright.
crust.
2 toppings.
You know what? I don't know if I'm cool with this. Yo, breadsticks. All right, you know what? Fuck it. We'll stay. It's
I'm
fine.
cool with this for now.
2 liters of Pepsi. Call it.
I will say though, some of the funniest times during deep clean, because again, you have like a ton of people there and like 2 or 3 managers.
It
Yeah.
They're like, yo, clean all of this stuff. So the same sort of thing you were saying with the serving trays, about
Yep.
just something you've never used. The amount of times I've seen somebody just go, man, I'm not cleaning this shit. Absolutely not. And walk to the dumpster and just chuck it and never look back about it again. And they're like, hey, did you get everything done? Yep, you will not find a dirty thing in this kitchen.
We'll say doing deep cleans does definitely build a little bit of camaraderie, unless you're
That's
stuck with a
true.
person that is solely responsible for not keeping up with their daily cleaning.
Like if
That's-
the one person doesn't do shit, ends
Yeah.
up also not doing shit for deep clean.
Yeah.
Or the one fuckboy in every single section of a restaurant. There's always one person, and through no fault of his own, nobody in that restaurant fucks with him. Just for some reason, he's just unfuckwittable. You just can't like him. It just can't be done. And he's been in the role so long, he's used to it. He's used to not getting liked, so he's not going to try and change. It's fine.
Hmm.
Then you get
There's
stuck deep
always
cleaning with
someone.
that guy.
Yeah.
There is, like, no matter
That's
what
it.
restaurant.
I know Ace and Steve have a.
It's like it's
few
a training
encounters with those.
program or something. Like,
You're like, hey,
They
so
just
here's
set
how we
them
keep the
outside
sugar.
every
You
store,
grab.
no matter what store.
Mhm.
Like you get one.
yep.
It's like, hey, here's where we keep the sugar packets, ice is in the back, and nobody fucks with Roger.
Mhm.
Just real talk. He's cool. We include him in Secret Santa, but honestly, fuck that guy.
Yep.
So y'all talked about your least favorite things about deep cleans. Y'all have any personal big pros that you see from doing deep cleans?
I mean, I do notice the smell in the back area a lot better. It does smell cleaner, like fresh water almost. I don't know if that's a smell you
It
guys.
smells like fresh rain.
no,
Would you
Alright,
rather work in a dirty place or a clean place?
I mean,
That's
I
what
like,
really
I
comes
like it when you
down to.
hit the satin
Yeah,
shine on the stainless steel appliances and shit. And
Yeah.
it glimmers. You can kind of see your reflection a little bit. That's nice.
And for the next week, literally your sandy rag is enough to bring a shine to
Yeah, like
everything.
you just wipe
Oh,
it
that's
wipe all
nice,
stuff,
yeah.
like it's super easy.
It's great. The
You don't
floors
see the
are,
film that just has built up over everything for
the floors
months.
aren't sticky because the one guy who just mops the floor instead of scrubs it just had to scrub it that one day, so it's
Mhm.
still clean.
Yeah, the dude training him told him wet is clean, so he
Yeah.
just dumps the bucket over and he's like, cool, I'm done for the night.
Oh, wait, I love those dudes. Dump the whole entire bucket of sand. Get rid of the smell, so for everyone else cleaning, they don't have to deal with it. It's just yeah, perfect.
I mean, that is a decent strategy in back of house where you have those big floor drains. It's
Mhm.
literally dump buckets on the ground, scrub brushes, and then squeegee.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
yeah.
That's a solid cleaning technique for
Mhm.
some places. But
Mopping is more formality at certain points, but
yeah,
yeah,
front of house, you usually don't get that luxury of
You
just
do not.
dumping and squeegeing.
you do not.
But you don't have all those drains.
Mm-mm.
Except for bars.
Well,
That
you
is
could.
all of them.
you could theoretically squeegee all of it in the back
Yeah.
where the drains are, but that's
I
not
mean, that would
feasible.
just take forever.
That
though.
takes a lot more
Yeah.
organization and thought process than
Yeah.
most servers I've come across possess.
Mhm.
Facts.
Have y'all's managers ever asked you to cross a line when you did a deep clean? You're getting behind this and you're hitting up that black giant gunk mass that's sitting in the corner.
What
and
was
you just
the-
had to be like,
so
no.
I'm the manager, and I wouldn't have any of my guys do anything I wouldn't want it, or I do myself.
Yeah.
But
At
most
least
places,
Yeah.
At least,
Wait, what?
At least
at least
help
side by side, help them. If you're gonna ask me to
Yeah,
do that
yeah,
ridiculous
dude.
shit, be like, you know what? I'll be here with
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
We'll both scrub brush this shit out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I have worked at different places, and I don't think it's ever been anything. Most of the places have been way too lenient for my standards, so
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing more than what they're fucking used to. That's just a personal thing.
It's a good thing, though. It's above and beyond. And that,
Like-
again, it goes back to that camaraderie thing.
Yeah.
Not showing leniency when it comes to, the cleanliness of, your workplace. It does come back full circle into the happiness of your employees,
Yeah. Mhm.
Because when you're working in a clean workplace and, a clean restaurant, oh my god, it turns them around so quick.
Oh yeah.
It's just less stuff to be pissy about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember Craig?
Yeah.
That motherfucker
man.
used to after I do some cleaning, he'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe nobody ever done that." He's been there for 6 years or
At
something.
least, yeah.
It's like, "Oh my god,
What was I doing for?
You
I
found
know.
a sponge?
I didn't know we could do that.
I didn't know we could do that." Yeah, he
So did
literally
you buy
said
this
that a
sponge
couple
on your
times.
own? Or
Yeah.
did you
No,
buy the
no,
sponge
like,
on your own, or did
No,
you
they were there.
bring it?
The boss provided them.
Although,
Reimburse you.
cleaning, that one server that takes Adderall constantly, when you have a slow day, they will take care of a deep
Oh,
clean by
yeah.
themselves in 2 hours.
They're the golden child. Yeah.
Top to
They
bottom,
are.
they're vacuuming the ceiling, they're
Facts.
dusting your bar stools.
Mhm.
They took a toothbrush to your grout work. They go above and beyond.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Shouts out to you and also their dealers who get them Adderall.
Yep.
If
We
the
thank
parents
you.
are prescribing it.
Oh no, they're in their 20s. They don't.
Yeah,
They don't
they're
do
well
scripts.
Yeah, but they're at age.
Mhm. Wow.
Although then the days they don't have it, they're basically just useless bags of dog food in the back.
Yeah.
So y'all got any?
Any more to say about deep cleans?
No, have any?
Oh,
more
sorry,
negative?
yeah, my bad.
They ain't doing
Any more
negatives.
negative? I guess beyond the time consumption. I'm not the biggest fan of the time consumption.
Mm.
I don't like having my mornings taken away or staying after a certain point at night.
Oh yeah, because if you're a morning spot, you do your deep cleans from 8 to midnight.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of throws off your schedule if you're there for too long, depending on how much of a clean that needs to be done. You can go through your roster. The managers will have a checklist, obviously, of stuff that needs to be done and stuff that they would expect to be the outcome.
Mm.
However, I can only afford so much time out of my nights or my mornings beyond where it cuts into time that's essential to getting other parts of my life done. You know?
Yeah. Fair.
See, the beauty for us, for the most part, the days I schedule our deep cleans,
Yep.
I make sure most of the people are there. Like I try to like.
You already gotta be there anyway.
Yeah.
Because we do we have a morning place, so we do ours like right after we get off work.
Yo,
Yeah, and
I remember
yeah.
those. Good times.
that's probably when our.
But
better
y'all
things-
also have solid deep cleans because everybody finishes deep clean and then meets up in the back of the bottle and chills for another hour just
Oh, so
kicking
we don't
it.
do that no more.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
No,
we don't do
one
that
guy
no more.
fucked it up for everyone.
We don't
He
do
stole
that
the
no
case
more.
of beer and was like,
Yeah.
Oh man, see
Yeah.
that used to be the
Yeah.
best part. So backstory for anybody just listening, I did work with these guys for a short little while one summer before I moved towns. And that was my favorite part of deep cleans was we would finish up deep cleans and again like they said a morning place, so normally by 4 or 5 deep cleans are mostly finished.
yeah.
And then everybody meets up in the back with their favorite bottle and you just start trading around shots. Obviously all this is pre-COVID.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Used to be
Yes.
going out.
Many, many years
Even
ago.
going out
Many
to bars
moons.
Many,
afterwards.
many moons.
Even going out to bars afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty
You
good.
So
would
that
have
was
to, yeah.
great. I mean, we had one time we did a deep clean, and then we started sipping on Crown Apple, and we had the quietest, most reserved dishwasher ever, talking about smacking asses and started dancing and showing off his dance moves in the back parking lot. I don't know how the hell he got home, but he had a great fucking time.
Everyone's
And
like,
everybody was
So
better
how the
buzzed
hell
after
he
that.
got home?
Yep.
I mean, I didn't drive him. Good luck, Travis.
I see that middle school club right there.
I will say a lot of good memories came from like deep cleans from places I've worked, but a lot of also crummy ones where I just did not want to get up that morning, and I felt like so crusty after like ending it, going
Yeah.
home for about an hour to shower, and then just going straight back to work.
Just a mild negative for
Like
deep
that.
cleans. That one manager who always fakes the super chipper attitude.
Oh,
We're always like,
oh,
all
man.
right, are you guys fucking ready for today? That
Oh,
at
my
like
Lord.
6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning
No one wants
makes
that.
me want to hit you with the closest thing to me. If I walk in, and you know I closed last night, so I was here until 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, and now I'm meeting you at 6 a.m. for this wonderful deep clean we have to do. And then you start with, all right, guys, we're going to have a fantastic time doing this clean. I hate you.
Bro,
I hate
couldn't
the
do
fuck
that.
out of you. Shove your
Honestly, I
attitude
couldn't
up
do
your
that.
ass and stop talking to me.
I probably would have found somebody that had the Adderall. To,
Yeah, right.
Like,
There's
had
always
like,
one.
hell no, fam. Like,
Also, any drug dealers
I couldn't do
listening,
that.
yes, find out your restaurant schedule for deep cleanings and make your money really easily.
Make it kill that.
hell, you would.
You will clean up.
I remember
Hey, I know you guys got a deep clean this Saturday. You want to surprise everybody with an Adderall for it? Yes. He will be the new favorite person in the kitchen. You will sell out of your stock, and overall, it's a win-win for all.
Absolutely, yes.
But it boils down to deep cleans are a definite necessity. I think
Absolutely.
I think just for employee mentality and just for restaurant health regulations.
Well,
and
I've
just, like,
been in
as a
places
whole.
that didn't do them.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, same.
those are the places that, like, because, like, if I'm bored, I get the need to clean, especially if I am elevated.
Yeah.
One would say I'm highly motivated to clean. So if I go to work and I'm bored and in my usual state of mind and I just start looking around and it's disgusting, I'm going to take steel wool to something and clean.
Mhm.
And every place I've worked at that doesn't deep clean, it might be red or tan tiles on the floor, but anywhere where there's any sort of ice well, cooler, anything over it, it's solid black. It is absolutely disgusting. They're just, you don't turn the lights on in bars for a reason.
Yeah.
Near Tim, yeah. It can be pretty fucking gross.
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off of deep cleans. I'm assuming y'all all have walk-ins and etc. Do y'all ever have to go like full clean on those?
Oh, that's part of the walk.
Yeah, that's
right.
regular deep
Actually,
clean thing.
instead
part of
of
the regular
like actually doing it on a deep clean, I have them do that throughout the week,
Mm.
so it doesn't take as much time because that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Cleaning that
Yeah,
shit.
taking the shells apart and shit
We
and
have
getting
some
in there.
garbage right now. We have like a keg cooler, but it's also what every prep cook uses to store all of their food. And prep cooks are messy. So I
They
have
can be.
like,
I can't.
You
It
know.
can be.
I was a clean.
Don't let me in.
I was clean.
Yeah, I was
I
clean.
was about to get tight over that.
Yeah.
No,
where
okay.
prep cooks are messy
Yeah, go.
bitches. So I have like uncooked cut potatoes
Oh,
in the shape of fries everywhere. I have a little bit of sauce that's spilled from making gallons of a soup for the week or whatever is all over my keg cooler. And they just made it a weekly duty for bartenders that it's my job to scrub and clean a keg cooler.
That's not fair.
How does a keg make a mess? In any way, shape, or form?
If you're putting the tap on, it might splish some beer at you. That's about it.
Never
Nope,
happened
we
to
hire
see.
competent people.
No.
And we've never had any issues.
But that could be the only way, though. That could be the
yeah.
only way.
So it's my job putting no mess in the cooler that I have to scrub and clean up all of the prep cook's mess and pull out. I mean, we have 26 different beers on tap, so I have to pull out 26 kegs, move all of them, and scrub the entire cooler out and rehook everything up while making a sixth of what a prep cook makes. No. So I'm currently in revolt on that one with my management. It's gone 3 weeks without the keg cooler getting cleaned. And it is kind of gross. We do need a deep clean. It is a necessity for businesses.
It is necessity.
Nice,
Yeah,
gross.
so
I'm trying
we're
to
talking
change
about
your
revolts.
kegs.
Speaking of revolts, that's a good little segue, Ace. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was about to say we're gonna go on for this one a little while.
Yeah, that,
Um,
well, so this time it's
yeah.
gonna. Speaking of deep cleans and revolts, guys, let's talk about cleaning house.
I was say.
Deep walk-ins?
Oh god.
Yeah, Jesus, man.
God
Yeah, this
damn.
one.
We can make hella puns for this if you want.
What a shit show this
Yeah.
that
Oh
day
man.
was.
God damn.
I mean, we've all seen the memes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many memes.
Steve, we're all on Facebook. We're all on like social medias. We see.
Um,
And they've been firing off like a
I can't
motherfucker.
speak for you. You're not on social media.
Not
So
on-
many.
Yeah, this is the memes though.
You see, yes,
Yeah.
we show them to them, yes.
yeah.
We have to show it to them.
We have
Exactly.
to. We're
I
obligated.
have my meme outlets. I just
Oh,
don't need everybody else's business.
You're just a grandma friend. It's okay.
Yeah, pretty much, bro.
I mean, let him live his life, man. Like,
I've been printing memes and taping them to the wall so y'all can look at them and like them. Y'all remember that old Progressive commercial?
Oh
I
yeah.
posted it to my wall. I like
but
that.
alright.
Anyway, yeah,
What's the
so, in case y'all are just completely under rocks and don't understand,
Yep.
this past Wednesday, the entire Capitol building, all 3 buildings associated with it, was taken over by the reject cast members of Duck Dynasty and a guy in a Chewbacca bikini.
More or less, yeah.
And also assorted compatriots that decided to join them. Crack Grandma was one of them.
Well,
Crack
let's not
witch
call 'em-
grandma.
Yes. Well, let's not call them patriots. If they were patriots, they would have had tar and feather. They were just
Yeah.
some assholes who want to fucking.
No,
destroy.
exactly. They were
Yeah.
just
To be
pissy
fair,
over.
tar is really expensive nowadays. They did their best with face paint and flags.
So I'll go ahead and say that these are just people pissy over election results, that things that they can't stop,
Yeah.
or things that they don't actually have control over. And
Yep. And the day they were like actually voting, they're like, yeah, he's the new president. Trump's out. New guy's in. They're like, fuck that. We're gonna make something happen.
and what actually happened was that they expedited the results.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the
It was
funniest
like
part
8
of that.
o'clock at night. They're like, all right, it's back to work. So who's in favor for Biden? And they all just like raise their
I'd
hands. Yeah,
say,
fuck
I
that
don't
shit.
know. After all that, every
There was
Republican
like a lot
shut
of
Oh, was it?
Republicans actually put their hands up or against Biden.
Yeah, so there were way more that were in support enough to make a difference. And then after the, we'll call it, quickly displaced occupation of the building,
Yeah.
half of those Republicans shut up to where it was too much of a minority
Yeah.
immunity
That's
thing.
literally
Yeah.
what happened.
Although if you ever asked anybody, especially like somebody who hasn't ever been around DC, if you're like, yo, what kind of security do you think government buildings have? And you're like, oh, dude, they got laser sensors on the lawn.
They
They got
have
snipers from every rooftop. They got
Loaded.
armed guards and riot squads just waiting from air balloons to drop in on top of you if you cross that red tape. Nah, dude, turns out they don't even have fucking dogs.
Nope.
Like, they don't have
They
anything
don't
at
have
all.
Nothing at
Yeah.
all.
They barely
It's
have
very
rocks.
It's
They
very
barely have
No,
cops.
you saw how they barricaded the doors, man. It looked like a scene from Nazi Zombies. Like,
They really did.
Or like Home Alone, they're just like putting dressers and shit in
Like,
front
bro,
of there.
like that shit was.
Bro, Home Alone
Oh,
did it better.
Home Alone
He
did
did.
that.
Yeah,
Home
Home
Alone
did.
Macaulay
Actually
Culkin for
stopped
defense
people.
I was gonna say,
secretary.
you just see,
Callous
you just see
to do
Macaulay
that.
Culkin in the house, just like.
I mean, literally nothing. Y'all have some regular Joe schmoes.
A multi-billion-dollar defense budget, and that's what you can do for your fucking capital.
Almost a trillion. $750 billion
Yeah.
a year
My
spent on
apologies,
defense.
I stand corrected. Even more money.
Yeah.
Even more money.
And they still can't do shit.
Money printer go.
This shit pissed me off because, like, yo, throughout the whole riots and everything going on, like, they put out the National
National
Guard and shit. They had all the cops out for this shit. And
They had
like,
regular
yeah,
amounts of
just-
SWAT
yeah,
SWAT teams and riot gear for everyone.
And they were on
yes.
deck like that.
And like, yo, you literally, these are the
Yeah.
people that make our fucking laws.
Yeah.
And, like,
This
you
is
like,
the center of our
this,
nation.
This has
Yeah.
been planned for a while, and they are well aware of
Yeah.
what the fuck was going on.
Was seeing stuff on social media like TikToks and you know, just social media in general, like everyone watch out for January 6th. Everyone watch out.
Yeah.
Things stuff is gonna happen. And you know, it did. But however, you would think the response would have been a little bit.
I mean,
more
they
expedited.
filed for the protesting permits were filed for over 400,000 people to be in that area that day,
Yeah.
and they still didn't think maybe we should throw a couple more cops in there. No, we're gonna leave one guy on the stairs.
Like literally one guy, he's like, yo, back up.
Matter of fact, I believe there were probably a lot more people there who were defending that border, and he was the one dude who was like, nah, this is my
I'm
duty.
actually gonna do
Everybody else was like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah,
They
I'm
bolted
out.
into a closet. This one dude was like, fuck it, y'all gave me this nightstick, I'm ready.
Respect my authority.
Yeah, that was the
You're right.
one dude who took his job seriously in defense of whatever the
Yep.
nation's
Capital.
democratic capital, I guess. I mean, it's not the White House, but it's where the entirety of Congress is
Yeah,
housed.
that's where our laws get passed and
Yeah.
made and shit. And yeah, they basically put a Cheeto in the door lock and was like, that should do it.
Just
should
in the
work.
post that the FBI put out in order to identify the people, and they're asking like ordinary citizens and everything,
Oh,
and like the
yeah.
massive response of people just like matching photos to like
Yeah,
their
yeah.
social medias, including like LinkedIn's, just like
Dude,
family
one girl
photos
ratted
and
her
all
own
that.
mom out.
Right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there was one girl, shit, I forget what her last name was. It was like Irene or some shit was their last name. But she straight up on social media was like, hey mom, remember when you told me not to go to the BLM protest? Ain't this you getting punched in the face by a riot cop?
Woo!
And straight called her ass out,
Damn.
quoted on the video with a timestamp. I was
What
like,
the fuck?
oh, yikes.
Shots fired.
Can you imagine busting a nut, just have the nut bust you? That shit's wild.
That's a good one.
I will say, I don't feel. This is gonna sound rough.
Nah, go for
It's
it.
gonna sound really rough, but I don't feel necessarily like when you hear about death in the news. I don't want to say I've become desensitive to it, but I don't feel bad about the deaths that happened. Did you hear about how they happened?
I heard that when veteran got shot.
One
Yeah,
veteran
the
got
Air
shot.
Force veteran,
Mhm.
and that was when they were
That's the one
barricading the actual
inside?
house.
Yeah,
in
That's the
center.
one that tried to climb in through the window and got
Yep.
shot. One lady got trampled. Another man had a heart attack from a taser that was his taser.
Is
Yeah.
taser?
Yeah, did you hear about that? It sounds like
No.
something out of like a comedy movie.
Like
The dude,
he
like-
tried tasing someone and like
And-
hit a metal pole or some shit.
No.
Oh.
He hit himself in the balls.
Fuck up.
Oh,
No,
what?
he
I'm not
didn't.
even joking.
No, what?
Mr. Miyagi
No.
shit right there. Like, taste yourself.
Not even joking. I had to double check like up
What?
on media outlets and like the news reports for it.
Was he
But-
pulling out of his pocket and just kind of like snagged the
See,
trigger?
apparently like he
Yeah.
fell and just like snagged
He
himself
just
on the
fell
balls.
and snagged
And it caused himself to have a heart attack, and another old white man died of a stroke.
What the
Like
fuck?
I don't
Wait, what?
I have a story for
Oh
strokes
my
later.
God.
like man. I don't necessarily feel bad about these deaths, man. It
But
feels
that
like
was-
the stupid shall be punished.
That's
Another
just
great
situational
story.
irony right there.
Yeah.
What's your story, sir?
So last week we had a guy have a stroke in our restaurant while having a meal.
Oh no.
That was interesting.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So mind you, normal little four-top table. They're dining, everything's cool.
Mhm.
And then I believe it was like grandparents and then like mom and younger kid was the four-top. And so mom of younger kid calls over one of the busboys and goes, hey, I need you to call 911 right now. My dad's having a stroke. So he goes in to the server whose table it is and goes, hey, your table's having a stroke. You need to call 911.
Whoa.
The server then went to the manager and was like, hey, somebody at my table's having a stroke. We should call 911. The manager then went to the general manager who was online and with another server who had heard about this through hearsay. And they're like, hey, Tiffany, we should call 911. Somebody's having a stroke at a table. Tiffany is currently working a line shift because we lost 2 or 3 line cooks this week and has AirPods in, just vibing. And she just looks and goes, ha, and keeps dancing up to her
Oh my shit,
Meanwhile, the
bro.
server whose
Oh
table
my
it is
shit.
is losing his shit in the dish pit. Like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now? What are we?
All right, we all know servers have their phones on them at all
All
times,
time.
bro.
All
Like,
time.
All
why?
general managers. So then finally, other managers heard about it, gets through to general manager and is
no
like,
one
yo,
thought-
a
yo,
table's
call-
having a stroke. And she goes, oh my god, what are we gonna do? It was like, probably
911.
call 911. So again, if you're ever in a restaurant and having an emergency situation, do it yourself.
Dude,
Why wouldn't you?
No, fuck that. Call
No,
Ghostbusters.
She was freaking out online, sending ticket times back to 20-25 minutes before they were started, trying to figure out what to do before anyone pulled out a cell phone and could remember what the phone number is for 911. Because I guess that was their problem, is nobody knew what numbers to dial to get in contact with 911, what their direct line was.
It's a hard number
I
to
will say in
memorize.
comparison, much like the Capitol, restaurants need better emergency preparedness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
there is
like, y'all
some
place is
overlap.
like really bad. Like, goddamn.
To
bro.
be
Yeah.
fair, this general manager got promoted because of COVID, not because of skill.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that
No
makes way
games
more
about
sense.
it.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah, I
that
understand
makes
that.
way more sense.
I can understand that now.
Yeah.
It's-
Like, if somebody drops in my restaurant, like, yeah, I'm calling. I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna ask nobody.
No, Dubro's hardcore stroking out, and it had to go through 5 people and 10 minutes of panic attacks
Like,
before
this nigga
anyone
died.
actually called
Like,
911.
I'm surprised
died.
he didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't.
I didn't
It
get
took
the
this long.
update for that.
Oh.
He definitely left in an
Okay.
ambulance.
Well,
they didn't
who
ask me
knows?
that question.
If we find out, we'll put a link in the on the bottom part.
Yeah.
Got you.
We'll put in the GoFundMe
Yeah.
for his,
Yeah.
his speed recovery.
And all right.
Or whatever charitable donation his,
Yeah.
wishes should be sent to.
Mhm.
All depends.
It all
I
depends.
mean, if you want to send us money for this old man, like, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll make sure he gets to him, yeah.
So, circling back to the.
Oh, yeah. This major
time this week.
Yeah, since we're going on tangents and shit.
Yeah, this historic event that happened in December 32nd or 37th of 2020. Yeah.
Nice. Love that. Love that meme.
Yep.
Facts.
I
It's
will
just
say-
going and going and going.
I will say this. It happens about every so often with me keeping up with the news. It really bothers me with grammar. I don't like grammar versus capital versus capital. And the difference
AL
between
and OL?
AL versus OL.
Okay.
Oh well for the building.
Yes.
You are a teacher, so I can understand that.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's mind blowing, man. That
Oh, like people writing it and shit?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can tell the
Like,
difference?
man.
Oh,
Like the Capitol building with an AL.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The capital city with an AL,
Correct.
but it's the Capitol building with an OL. Like,
Mhm.
man,
That's just because
That
our
grinds me
English
pretty
language
hard.
is just shit.
It
is
is.
pretty fucked
Yeah,
up.
No, English language
It's
is
a very bastardized, more.
Honestly, I would say there's
different-
not really a good language. Each has like their own little niches and all that.
Mhm.
English is definitely probably one of the
Not
worst.
true. That
But-
killed it.
You
You
have
have
I was
250
gonna say,
people.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, most of the languages based off Latin are pretty good to work with.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, people just took their own twists on it. They're like, man, that was too fucking hard. You know
I
what
will-
I'm gonna do? I'm
I will
gonna
say
LE
except for
everything.
French. I will say except for French. Not a fan. It sounds pretty, but that's because they actually have a council that judges how eloquent their language sounds.
Imagine if we had that for America and we had pronounced selfie
Plain
because it sounded fancy.
No, they'd be like Sophia.
Selfie.
Duplique.
sounds nice, but
No.
stupid as shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
So what's y'all's takeaway from, the Capitol
Capitol.
riots?
I
Yeah, we-
feel like
Are we just gonna do that
Yeah.
now whenever people are bored? Can we just get like 100,000 of us together and go take over a government building for a few hours?
Yeah,
That's how we
that's-
handle
I
discrepancies.
I'm
know,
gonna
like,
take over
they
the-
didn't
I'm gonna
really-
take
they
over the
didn't
post
get
office
anything
building.
done doing this shit, though.
No,
Yeah.
they ran in.
They literally helped and make it more possible.
No,
Yeah.
they ran in, took over the building, waited for the mission objective to change.
Yep.
The game glitched, and they just stood there for 3 hours until
Bro.
curfew
Yeah.
hit. They're like, "All right, mom, I'll turn off the game."
They're living a side mission in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Facts.
Oh.
and the shit, they didn't even ask for anything great. They asked for not
Yeah.
criminalization the drugs, Medicaid, like fucking stop sending billions in foreign aid, use that money for our own citizens.
If you really
Take away
wanted
from
to
the
take
defense
over,
budget a little
Yes.
bit.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
really wanted to take over, you jump in the Senate's house and
Yeah.
then immediately put out warrants for all of those senators.
By
and
the
set
time
up
they got
a new
in there,
government,
there was no one in there whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, that's
no
why
one
you put
got
out
taken
warrants for 'em.
hostage. It was
Bring them
nuts.
bitches.
Or maybe, I don't know, look at all these senators, see what's in classified forms, just hanging around any fucked up, illegal bills being fucking
I think
thrown
that's
around.
going to be a scapegoat soon. I
I
feel
feel
like
like
we're
they
going to
started
get
it-
important documents. They got stolen in the Capitol building
Very
or some
true.
shit.
Although there was that one dude that had a letter from Nancy Pelosi just casually on camera. I will say that they are terrible about their facial recognition.
At a time when you should wear a mask, they
That's-
didn't wear a mask at all.
At all.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
At all.
One guy sitting in the chair is be kicked up on the desk, hey, I'm in Pelosi's
Yeah.
desk. Fuck this bitch.
Yeah. No, that was the same
Massive
guy.
amount.
He
Same
left,
dude.
and there was a picture of him later, and he had pieces of Pelosi's mail just in his hand.
You
I
stole
was
her
like,
mail.
Yeah, he stole her mail. I was like,
So that's a federal crime.
crime.
What
yeah.
the fuck?
It's already a federal crime, man.
someone's
Like,
taking
yeah,
over
like,
federal
just give
building.
I said
more-
no.
add it to it, though.
What is it, man? It's the 14th Amendment, like Section 3? Is
What,
that
for taking mail?
Something.
No,
like that, yeah.
not for mail, just for like storming federal buildings, etc., like that, for insurrection.
So,
for insurrection, that's what it is.
That's a weird one. It is a public building. Normally, you're allowed to tour through there all day.
Yeah.
They just had a lot of people in it all at once, so I'm not sure what charges you can
It's-
put on there.
it's weird.
Well,
Well,
they-
it's
they-
a type of terrorism.
it's
Yeah, they
weird to say
broke
public
windows
building.
and doors and
Yeah,
shit.
it's
the
a type
violence
of-
is what did it.
They
The
did
people
walk-
just walked
violence.
in.
They did walk between the red velvet ropes.
That was so funny. That's so mind-boggling. You see
Yeah,
all the
they did.
statues in that giant atrium, and
They
they're just walking through
respected
the
the
red
ropes.
velvet ropes.
You know what? I will give it to them. Rednecks are nothing if not courteous for the rules. They really don't know how to behave in
That's
cities.
one
They
thing.
just try to
That's
keep
a
everything
fucking
orderly.
point.
That's still not proud or out
Like
there.
somebody actually planned this, and
Mhm.
it was like, yeah, we're gonna get this to the bare minimum of the
Yep.
charges.
Yep.
Hey, we might have broken in, illegally occupied, threatened with terrorist acts,
Broke
but we
windows.
did not trespass.
Which
I don't want to talk out of my ass, but y'all heard the reports of like the bombs that were found amongst the groups,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I heard
I
like
heard
3 or
that,
4,
yeah.
I
I've
think.
heard like different numbers, but I'm sure there's like at least 1 or 2. but-
One confirmed
I'm
by
sure
the
there-
RNC was basically just a regular ass pipe bomb, and
Yeah.
then 2 or 3 were recovered somewhere further in the Capitol building and are being investigated currently. Last time I bothered to look.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the updates keep on saying there's more, but it varies different.
Well, to
from
be
site to
fair,
site.
a couple thousand people made it into the Capitol
Yeah.
building without
Yeah,
ever
somebody's
going through a metal
crazy enough.
detector.
Yeah,
True.
somebody's crazy
So
enough.
I'm gonna just drop this out of my pocket and text it later. Like,
Yeah. It's fair, man, but I will say it's scary for like the future of the country. To see that it's that easy for
Yeah,
extremists.
it
of
just
either
sucks
side
at
to
how
just
divided
yeah.
this country is right now.
Yeah.
And like,
Well,
our president right now is not trying to fucking like bring us together at all. He's probably the worst about that.
I will
Like,
say that it's not even like a matter of us being divided now. I would say that we're a
no,
country
we're
we're built on division.
Well,
yeah, we've been divided for a very long time.
Very long
But at
time.
the same time, there's been points and times where it hasn't been as bad.
It's
I will
And
say-
like,
Yeah,
it's gotten to the
boiling
point.
point,
Yeah, it's gotten to the point
I
where
agree
it's
with
like
that.
straight up, like you can walk down the street and like you get where like I can walk down the street. I wouldn't say y'all, and like somebody will fucking look at me like
Mhm.
way different than they would.
me.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
very-
like very easily.
I'm
like,
short,
yo,
skinny,
it's
and
really
very
shitty.
unthreatening.
Yeah, it's very. I found out now. This is the time when police know how to not use excessive force. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right. We
Very
didn't bring tear
strange.
gas up until curfew.
Mm-mm.
Like what the fuck?
They
bro?
basically kind of like they didn't like beat
There
people
were more
with sticks.
cops
They just, like,
injured than
swatted them.
protesters. And I don't remember
Yeah.
seeing a single record like that this past
No, I have
summer.
never.
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
Not even close. I will. I'm sorry. I just remembered a really funny video. It was a lady that was trying to climb up that wall and then fell off. I don't know, bro. Have y'all seen it?
I've
I haven't seen that.
I think I
The
showed
guy
somebody
reaching
that.
down, trying to grab her hand. It's
And
like,
she's, like,
oh
missed
no! And she
Yeah.
just like fell back.
God.
Blew my mind.
I guess your episode should just be memes of the Capitol after this.
Oh, it's still on the Donkey Kong on top. Like,
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
that was so
Donkey
funny.
Kong out here.
Donkey Kong.
I will say the better part of it, other than the stress of a nation, is definitely the memes of a nation.
Oh yeah, those are the glue hoodlums.
One thing
together,
we can
in my
all
opinion.
agree on is that it was a solid move for all of social media to ban his accounts for at least a week. Let's just let us
That's
all
so
cool
funny.
down
I'm
for a second.
surprised.
Yeah,
y'all
this is a straw that
Y'all
breaks
see the meme of Trump going out to
Oh,
Barron
little
and asking asking for his phone so
Of
he
the
can
little
log
kid
on
mowing
to
the
Twitter.
lawn.
No.
I need to borrow your Twitter account. Yeah, that's just funny as
I
hell.
will say,
Wow.
it's amazing that it takes. I mean, like it's a weird kind of like, I guess, just different feeling for our country that it takes social media platforms to calm things down. Like, no amount of politicians,
Yeah, right.
newscasters, or
This man pulling up memes.
Yeah.
Steve's pulling up memes on the cats.
But yeah.
yeah, just throw it
Well,
out
Show
I
there.
the
can-
people. Show the people.
Yeah, I'll pop it in the thing for you guys to get a better view. But yeah. Look
Yeah,
at
I
that.
need to use your Twitter. But it took social media being like, all right, we're going to step in to calm everything down. It wasn't any representative we've elected. It
No.
wasn't any part of our government or any actual human person.
Nope.
It was social media being like, don't worry, we'll shut them up for a week so everybody can chill the fuck out.
In all fairness, I saw more police on New Year's Eve in our city
Bro,
than
I
I
was
did in
thinking
the
the same
Capitol during the
shit.
insurrection, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that is.
I was just saying,
Or
they
just on the
enforced
way
the
to work.
curfew here.
Yeah.
They enforced the curfew here for our city far harsher than they did DC during a national revolt.
And it kind of sickens me. I remember the story of when they had like the BLM protests, and like there was this one guy that hit over like 60 plus, like 100 plus people in his home, just because police are going around beating people for being out past curfew.
Yeah.
Yo,
You know, there's one man that hit like so many people in his home, so many protesters in his home, and it kind of sickens me to know these people are out there past, you know, these
Just
hours,
chilling.
just chilling.
I mean, I was keeping up live with the news because, no lie, I expected this to be way bigger. After they took the building, I was like, oh shit, they're going for Objective 2. What's
Yeah.
the next
Yeah,
building?
that's what I thought too. Also,
So I kept up with it while I was at work, and after like they started pushing them out of the building and curfew hit, everybody just looked bored and went home.
Yeah.
That was it.
I was like, all right, we did it. Now what?
But I mean, there wasn't any sort of like
I say,
major push
what I
from the
think it is
cops or-
because Trump, he put out that
Oh
little
yeah, he
video,
did do that thing.
and basically it was like,
Oh my
Okay.
god.
oh my precious people. What was
Was
the
that
word?
video
love you.
condemning,
Oh, okay.
or was that accidentally uploaded from his dating profile?
Oh no,
Because
bro!
I felt like he was flirting.
You're
very special people. You're very close to my
No,
heart.
We
don't-
love you.
Don't let the video show
Just
that
go,
do this
go.
for Daddy Kitten.
Yeah, like, bro, like, yo, what are you saying right now?
Do this with Daddy Kittens.
I felt
please.
special. If
Like,
nothing
God
else,
damn.
I wasn't even there in DC, but I felt cared for.
Felt warm.
I felt
Like, I shit you not, like 3 months ago, you over here fucking about to put 10
Oh, yeah,
years
10
on people's
years, yeah.
lives because they're just taking down some statues.
Yeah.
But now you're special to
Yeah.
me. You're a close place in my heart. And
Yeah,
we'll
bruh.
get through
You're
this.
actual terrorists, but
Like,
you're
just
fine.
go home.
Yeah.
Just go home.
Honestly,
Go.
Y'all are
Go.
actually planting pipe
Run.
bombs. Y'all are
I've
actually.
seen a weird take, and it made a decent amount of sense to me. And it was someone had a problem with calling the people that were storming the Capitol terrorists, because what's the first thing that comes into Americans' mind when you think terrorists?
Revolutionary War.
It's gonna be a brown-skinned man, with beard. It looks like a Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And they said to call a spade and to call them white supremacists, and to call them insurrectionists, to
But
call them.
Terrorist uses terror.
Yeah.
And taking over a government building and
Is-
causing an entire congressional party to
Yeah.
flee is terror.
The ones that couldn't even flee to were like hunkered down, like
They
Asian
literally
hiding
had
closets
them on the
and
ground, told them to put gas masks on.
Yeah.
Because they were running gas
Yeah.
masks.
Mhm.
But I thought that was pretty interesting, just because of for the mass in America, when someone thinks of a terrorist, you're not thinking a white man or
Osama.
white people. You're thinking of a
Osama.
Middle Eastern.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
9/11 and shit. That's
Yeah.
what we'd like been conditioned to think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear that kind of standpoint to be like, I think about what you call them, and I still think it is terror. It's
Yeah,
terrorism.
absolutely.
I
They're
still-
using
I
fear
still
to
agree.
control.
Terrorism.
Because when I say it now, the thought of a domestic terrorist is more and more of a white man
Mhm.
than anything else. You got
Oh,
that
sure.
one kid,
Well,
Kyle
absolutely.
Kyle Ritters. What was his name? His last name up in shit where he shot a black man straight up and left, walked past police.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight up walk right past on
Yeah.
the street, and nothing happened to that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts to me. But the image is slowly shifting for domestic terrorism. It's not going to be that Middle Eastern man. It's not that.
It's a
Yeah.
white
Yeah,
dude
the
in
news
trench
is not
coat
gonna
next to the
put-
school.
Yeah,
the
but why
news
do
is
they
not
trench
gonna
coat
portray
next to
them
the
as
school?
terrorists. They're gonna fucking say whatever they have to say to make them sound like just a normal fucking person.
That's mass media. I don't believe mass media can speak
Mhm.
for people at whole. I
Yeah.
believe that we are solid individuals and we can have our own thoughts.
This
know?
did also create a massive turnaround. So we had the news on at work, obviously, while
Mhm.
this whole
Yeah.
thing was going on.
Yep.
And even some of my older white managers and coworkers who are either hardcore Fox, CNN, whatever news
Yeah.
station they want, watching this happen, they're like, man, I just feel like they're going to twist everything and make it to whatever view they want. And I was like, really? You? You over 40 years old and saying mass media might be some bullshit? Praise Jesus, this is a holy day.
What a miracle.
So, I mean, there's definitely been a massive shift, especially
Yeah.
during the whole Trump presidency, of people realizing that mass media is going to say whatever message they want and
Yeah.
make the facts fit to it later.
And then just make the
But seeing
major populace
the whole
think
Capitol
that.
being it's a protest and it's cool that Trump has support like this, or it's a riot and it's an act of terrorism, whatever, to watch a lot of people, that I've been well acquainted with go, man, I feel like they're just gonna say bullshit anyway. I'm not even gonna watch this. I'll figure it out later on my own. I was like, so
That's
proud
good.
of y'all. It was like watching a baby take first steps. But this is a 54-year-old man.
It was some big steps, all
It is
right?
good to see people formulate their own opinions. I will say that. It is definitely good to see people in mass think for themselves. And
But I mean, it took somebody tweeting Kavafi and being the leader of our country to do it.
Covfefe.
That's one thing we can all agree on with Trump. We all agreed how to spell coffee correctly.
Yeah, man, it's a nuts time to be an American. People are really scared about our public image, and I was just like, I don't. We've always kind of been trash in the public eye. We've never been
Ever
we
since-
were
beyond,
bomb before.
beyond
In
our
our
foreign
lifetime.
beyond our foreign aid.
Yeah.
Beyond
Yeah.
our foreign aid, like
yeah.
people think of our domestic, go-abouts as just kind of very improper, very kind of lackluster.
Very shit.
I mean, we're
Very
very
shit.
loud, we're
Yeah.
very friendly.
But
Is the general
foreign countries
vibe.
have always had problems with Americans.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yep.
100%. And some
It
of
just
it's
got
just
worse.
about-
It's
I
got-
was
it
saying,
got
it's
got
just
so
got
worse.
Yeah,
Foreign
it's
countries have a
not.
problem with other
Like, yo, they're
countries,
literally.
Foreign countries have problems with a lot of other countries.
There's a
man.
meme like it shows the rest of the world and then the United States and it just says ghetto. That's how the rest of the world sees us.
I say, oh, you're in the UN, your country's all had
How
problems with the same
America
countries,
sees
yeah.
Florida is how the
How
rest of the world sees America.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, pretty much.
wait, no, that
No,
can't be a real
bro.
story. Where did it happen? America? Yeah.
I saw
but-
Yeah,
I saw the
that makes
funniest-
sense.
I saw the funniest meme for Floridians, dude. Just like Florida people be like, sun, beach, fragile infrastructure, floors, every time.
Anybody got anything else?
No, man. I mean, stay safe
I
out there.
can't
Safe-
wait
yeah.
for the second half of January.
The second half.
We've been a week into 2021.
We started
we already
strong.
took over government buildings.
Started very
Yeah.
strong.
January part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Here we
Yeah,
go.
right?
Electric Boogaloo.
I mean,
I
really,
think
I
this is a
thought
worse start than 2020 did, dude.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
We
Oh,
almost
yeah,
had
like,
a
yeah, we didn't get the
pretty-
rain, the rainforest
Our
and shit.
Australia
It's
was
like
on
end
fire.
of January.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Australia was on
Australia's
fire all
fire,
of
yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, World War III almost broke out like immediately afterwards.
Yeah, that was like
yeah,
February.
that's true.
Was
That
it?
That was end of
No,
January.
Yeah, that was
so-
about February.
Hey,
yeah.
but we're still not through January. We will
Bro, we
revisit
almost
this
lost Dr. Dre, bro.
to an aneurysm.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
lost Kanye to
Yeah.
Jeffree Star.
Alright,
Wait, we lost Kobe in January though last year.
That's fair.
We did
Well,
lose
I thought that
Kobe.
was March.
No, that was January.
Really?
That was like, that was like
Yeah.
right after.
Actually, hold up. Basketball's been pretty hard for January. So, like, 2 Januaries ago, we lost LeBron's hairline completely. Last January, we lost Kobe. Shit, who we lose this January?
Man,
Bruh.
Apocalypse bingo. Apocalypse bingo. What are your guesses for February and the rest of January? What's gonna happen next? I'm curious.
really
Yo,
want
comment
Murder
below,
Hornets to
let
come
us
back.
know what y'all think is gonna happen.
I want
Before the
Murder
end of
Hornets
this
to
month.
come back. I feel like they got looked over. They
Yeah,
should
they
have been
really
so
did
much
get looked
bigger.
over. Like, I thought it was gonna be a huge thing.
Yo, I'm gonna watch Futurama and The Simpsons and get back to you guys. It's in there somewhere. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Oh man. South Park might have this one clutched out. I'm sorry.
No,
man.
they do it after.
I felt like they don't do anything like beforehand.
No, they're definitely like as it is.
Yeah.
Alright, real
Like
quick,
with the
just to see
Christmas
if we
special.
can pull our own Simpsons. What government building do you think is going to get taken over next?
Ooh, Washington Monument might be fun.
Okay,
Well,
Washington
funny.
Monument.
Oh,
Ace, what do you think?
I don't think any, to be honest.
Nothing?
I
No
feel
other
like-
buildings?
Yeah,
You think
no.
this is the end of it?
Honestly, I think this is the end of it.
Okay.
I would interject.
Yeah.
I think Lincoln Memorial's going down.
Yeah.
I'd say the capital of South Carolina goes next. Or
Yeah.
Georgia, because they've been two real volatile states.
Yeah, Georgia's, they've been up in the air.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's in D.C. I'm saying we're either losing a
Yeah,
government
I'm
building in
trying to
South
think about
Carolina
it.
or
Yeah, yeah.
Georgia.
No, I'm still going nothing.
Richmond's motivated, but they're not that motivated to
If
take
it
a
is, it's
building.
going to be like in
Yeah.
6 months. I'm not going to say in the next 6 months.
See, I disagree with the Richmond topic. I visited there even like months after the protests had happened in Richmond, like in their full swing.
That's the other
That's
side
still-
of the protest. I'm not seeing any major
Yeah, yeah.
Trump protests walking through
Well,
VCU campus.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, even seeing like the protests for anti-cop and BLM they were stationed out there months after around these monuments, and
They
having
were
like
still
neutral
going
zones.
like
They
2 or
were
3 months ago.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. Like I was very impressed to see that they stood
The
out.
longevity of that was
Yeah.
ridiculous
Yeah.
down in Richmond.
And you just don't see that longevity at the Capitol, bro. In and out in about 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not even.
in and out
Not
in
even
4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah.
Again, they made it inside. They waited for the mission objective to update.
Hey, on that, we're out of here.
All right.
Yo, thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks
This
for
has
watching.
been
Two cooks.
One server.
And a teacher.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.